Hey everyone, Scott here, discussing Alien vs. Predator, starring Sinead Lathan, Raoul Bova, Ewan Bremner, and Lance Hendrickson, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Now before I get into this movie, here's what I've heard from the behind the scenes. When he was a kid, director Paul W.S. Anderson, who is most well known for directing Resident Evil, wanted to see the original Alien and said confessionally that he wasn't old enough to go and see it. He did end up seeing it eventually, and to quote him, he thought Sigourney Weaver was the sexiest woman in the film, and Sigourney did read the script and didn't want to be in this movie, despite Ripley being in a comic book called Alien vs. Predator vs. Terminator, which that's not the title of this movie, but where it's a sequel to Alien Resurrection. Skynet had been defeated, but not well enough for them to create something called Terminalians. Ripley and some other guy I don't remember the name of off the top of my head in the story fight with the Predators to stop the Terminalians. There are also other comic books out there like Batman vs. Predator, Alien vs. Superman, Predator vs. Superman, as well as Alien vs. Judge Dredd and Predator vs. Judge Dredd. Well, let's get into the review, shall we? The Predator credits where their bomb logo turns into the words is strange. Now, I question, is this an Alien movie for this month? Or is it a Predator movie for next year's The Predator coming in August 2018? When we're introduced to Alexa Woods being played by Sinead Lathan, who was in the first Blade film, meets Wayland's assistant Maximus being played by Colin Salmon, from the first Resident Evil film, also directed by Mr. Anderson himself. While she crawls up a mountain on ice in Nepal, that's way too convenient to meet her, and she's taking on her cell phone, which is, come on, that's way too freaking dangerous, by the way. Graham Miller, being played by Ewan Bremner from Hey, which I just reviewed him in recently, Trainspotting. I reviewed it recently, and he is a brilliant actor, but unfortunately wasn't given a great role here. He's miscast in here, in my opinion. Now, Charles Bishop Wayland, played by Lance Hendrickson, is a questionable character because in Aliens he was just called Bishop. And in Alien 3, he was called Michael Bishop. And in this movie, he's Charles Bishop Wayland. Grrr. And in a later film, he's Peter Wayland. I'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. Well, not the same person, but you get my point. I personally think Charles Bishop Wayland was the first person to own the company he runs this in. This movie is taking place in 2004, and I think Peter Wayland was born maybe in 1995 as an example, and got old and had a kid between this damn series and Prometheus, which is a later show, and maybe Peter Wayland had a daughter or two and met someone with the name of Bishop, which they made a son named Michael Bishop after a convenience. It's just an example. I'm not making things up. Ugh! I'm so confused about this dumb freaking plot. And then the plot is even dumber than I am. Or it needs to be the dumbest. The scene where Alexa and Miller find a penguin and Alexa says, "Careful, they bite." That's a horror movie cliche and a groaning scene. Oh my god. Just one of the worst. Now Wayland gets into the middle of the plot, and with the cough, like like that, like constantly, violently, if you might well. But he still gets into the cave. Why? Why would you do that, Wayland? You're a bigger idiot than I can imagine if you're going to be going in snow and ice like that with the cold. When Alexa catches Wayland with a snowblade, isn't it pretty dangerous? It's a weapon. I'm believing so. To hold tight on just for snow, you know? How come he didn't die because of the way she caught him? When you catch someone with a snowblade, does it usually hurt them? Ugh. I'm so confused. Now, in this movie, there is a queen. Is it the same queen as in Aliens? That's my question. Again, I'm so confused. When in the world does this damn movie end? The sacrificial chamber is a cheesy as hell of a title for a chamber. Raul Bova's character earlier in the film has a Pepsi cap, and he's like, "I'm an Italian!" When he holds it like, "Mamma mia, the Pepsi!" Is a ridiculous character. Now, believe it or not, there is a hoary relationship between Pepsi and Alien. And I think this is from the 90s, when Alien 3 came out. But I've never seen it, but I'm thinking about it as I'm wanting to. It's probably a Pepsi advertisement for Alien 3, is my guess. When the human crew takes the Predator's guns and alarms the Predators, that not only gets the aliens to get out of their magically closed cages, but the whole freaking pyramid closes, which, oh my god, are you guys stupid for doing that in the first place, grabbing their freaking guns? Thanks for stealing the guns, Wayland, you bastard. You guys need to close the doors when you grab the Predator's guns, idiots. The Predator's roaring is actually really funny to me. When the line, what did you say this room was called again? And then he says, sacrificial chamber. And the facehugger just jumps out, and the next scene is the chest burster happening. Is a really dumb. This is dumbly plotted, dumbly placed, dumbly put together, all of that. The cage changes around the place to place like a pyramid, so yeah, you're dead. I don't give a crap. I really don't give a shit at this point. I seriously don't care for any of these freaking characters. I'm like, yeah, you're all dead. The alien shows up and some guy says, "You want a piece of me, you ugly son of a bitch?" Is rather a cliched line. Well, not the same way as how I said it, but I'm just making a point. The Alien vs. Predator fight scene shows up at least 53 minutes into the movie. The money shot where the alien and Predator stares as they're about to fight. Isn't that what the audience really wanted in a versus movie to begin with? And I'll discuss more about that when we get to the Batman vs. Superman movie that I'll be reviewing later this year. Lance Henriksen, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be a jerk to you at this point. But Bishop Wayland's death is actually very much a funny scene to me. Because Wayland attacks the Predator, and the Predator checks to see if he has an alien inside the man, who doesn't kill him, by the way. Wayland attacks him once again and says, "Don't you turn your back on me!" And tries to burn him like the Predator. Like, how would I put it? Like in a fiery, getting the Predator on fire, which doesn't kill him. And the Predator just kills him. It's just a funny scene. When the Predator kills the alien by showing its brain, I'll give the movie this. It is an awesome scene. Hands down, the best scene of the movie. When the Predator marks himself and his mask comes off and the facehugger impregnates him with something we'll see in next week's movie, a Predalien. Which, here's a tip. To avoid this in the first place, don't take off the mask. The scene explanation for 1,000 years ago with the Predators were gods, and the aliens started attacking the Predators, and the Predators bombed the pyramids with the aliens. That storyline is bullshit. Come on. Do you really need this explanation in a movie about aliens and Predators fighting each other? Because it makes no sense whatsoever. The line, "the enemy of my enemy is my friend," is way too overused in other movies, and I think it makes this damn thing mockable. It's just a horrible line to begin with when Alexa says it. Also, when she kills the alien, is such a stupid scene. It's also not very realistic, since to show your protagonist is a badass. Give me a break. When the alien queen breaks out of its chains by the other aliens is a poor, stupid moment that the movie never earned. It was like an hour into the movie, I feel like. Or maybe, kidding, maybe an hour and 15. I wasn't keeping an eye on the clock at that point. Neither was Alexa being a badass. Raul Bova's character is his death was just a melodramatic scene for a horror action movie. And that line, "You're one ugly motherfucker," although they didn't say fucker in the movie. It's PG-13, so I can't really. But I mean, it's an R-rated series, so what am I gonna get sued for? Is a line from the Predator series. Saying it in the movie is like, did you really need that line? Really? This may be a horrible thing to bring up, but can you imagine Alexa and this Predator smooching up a storm? Really? I can't even picture it. I just can't, because even though Alexa and the Predator are the heroes of the film, it's too much. I'm not gonna see that in an Alien versus Predator save humans kind of bullshit. Anyways, the fight scene between the Queen and the Predator and Alexa, and how they drown the Queen in the water after they trap and force the bitch, might be the only fight scene I liked, especially when she goes down underwater. Just Jesus. Let the movie end. I also like the score of the first fight between the alien and the two predators. I will give them that too. There's also a colony that picks up the predator with the spaceship that's full of predators after the predator dies. And they have a ship, and Alexa should have said, I didn't say I meant to say should have said, "Hey, can I get a lift home?" And predators would be like, no. But the movie made its choice, so whatever. And let me be clear about something. This is a PG-13 rated movie where this is supposed to be an R-rated franchise. Die Hard, Terminator, a lot of those series that got pushed down to PG-13 is made for the movies to be sucking big time, to let in some 13-year-olds in the theater and say, that movie sucked as badly as the other ones did. Well, maybe not the other ones, but like Alien 3, Terminator 3. You get my point. Maybe a lot too much. Now, it's time for the rating. I'd give this movie a 2.8 out of 10. And it's that bad. Let me tell you something. This should have been an R-rated movie. And I don't like these characters. Even when they mostly do idiotic things, this is a downer after the original series. Don't watch any of those AVP movies. And unlike I did, I regretfully did it for the show. And I should have done it when The Predator came out next August. I didn't think about it. So tomorrow I'll be recording the Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl show for you guys, leading up to the dumb title, Dead Men Tell No Tales, excuse me. And that'll be like maybe in the afternoon. So until next time, game over, Anderson. Game over.